Not bad, not bad. A little overwhelmed, but I guess I kind of have a lot going on these days.
Indeed you do. The mind is an easy place to get lost in, is it not?
You ain't kidding. Keeping all them cognitive distortions in my head and sorting through all my clients' problems ain't easy.
We are not machines, Samuel. I believe you will find that you can never handle everything at once. There is a term the mortals use these days, multitasking. It's a kind of meta-control fallacy. Even we must handle thoughts one at a time.
I guess. I just hope I can concentrate on my own therapy with all this stuff bouncing around in my noggin.
I do not expect you to be an exception to the rule, my dear fellow. Let us see whether we can clear your head. I would like to introduce you to a ritual I have learned for stealing the mind.
This some kind of ancient vampire secret? Something the old ones gave you that's been lost to time? Something mortals could never imagine?
No, it's just meditation.
Oh.
That does not make the technique any less valuable. Now then, close your eyes. I will guide you through this process. Think of a place that brings you comfort. Where is it?
I'd have to say the woods. I always liked being in nature.
Then imagine the woods and let your thoughts come to you. Be attuned to your body. Breathe and you will be able to address your thoughts and clear your mind. Now close your eyes and begin.
I ain't cut out for this therapy thing. And it sure is a tall glass of water. I miss my princess. I kinda miss farting. Focus, Sam, focus. Who's got a pretty mind?
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, all right. Fine, really. All them thoughts just feel like thoughts.
What sorts of things came up for you?
Well, I thought about my clients. I thought about all them cognitive distortions. My horse came up a lot.
Your horse?
Yeah, Princess. She was my horse back when I was alive. I still think about her every day. I can't really stop.
I understand. I have bonded with many horses in my own life, but it sounds as though the loss of Princess was particularly fraught.
Yeah.
Would you like to start there?
Not sure I'd like it, but seeing as it's come up, maybe we should talk about what happened to her. It's got a lot to do with my old gang. I mentioned them before. The Mystic Bastards was their name. They were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose, and I had nothing to lose.
That sounds like some Nosferatu thinking, my friend.
Oh, I can see that now. But it turned out I still did have something to lose. And they took that from me to prove my loyalty. They took my princess. Killed her in cold blood. And made me watch the whole thing. They made sure she saw me too.
Oh, Samuel, I am so sorry.
I just stood there, watching her dying, with them big eyes looking at me like she knew I betrayed her. They knew what it would take to break me. And it's my fault for letting them do it.
But Samuel, these Mystic Bastards, it sounds as though these loyalty tests were a cruel, mechanical part of their indoctrination process. These are the actions of a cult. They had no special care for you or your princess.
Well, sure as shit worked. They knew where to hit me, and it's my fault for letting it happen.
What they did, Samuel, had little to do with you personally. You were vulnerable, and they took advantage. This is what cults do. But Samuel, you are exhibiting a cognitive distortion known as personalization. You are attributing the Mystic Bastards' actions entirely to your own supposed failings. While it is natural to grieve for your horse, holding yourself solely responsible is neither fair nor accurate.
Hold on a sec, my head's hurting. I can't hold on to all them distortions all the time. Ain't personalization a lot like a control fallacy?
An astute observation, Samuel. Personalizations are often a form of control fallacy. While control fallacies often manifest as a belief that you have more control over external events than is actually the case, personalization is a more specific tendency to believe that external events are reactions to you. But let us leave control fallacies out of the picture for now. You are correct that keeping all distortions in mind at once is unrealistic. I would not interrupt your thoughts if I did not think personalization important. You are shouldering the blame for Princess's death. I can see that.
Well, if it ain't my fault, who else's is it?
The Mystic Bastards, of course. Let me put it into perspective for you. I will make a series of statements, and you help me identify the personalization distortion. I overslept in my coffin because I forgot to set my alarm.
Well, that's the personalization, ain't it?
No, Samuel. If I forgot to set my alarm, that was my inaction or inaction. It is not a distortion to acknowledge this fact.
Dang.
It's all right, Samuel. Let's keep going. I bit Crimson's neck last night and missed the vein because I was distracted. It was entirely my fault.
That's the personalization. There's a million reasons why you might miss a vein. Sometimes finding the right one can be tricky.
But I admitted that I was distracted. In this case, I am clearly the cause of my accident, and it is no distortion to say so.
I guess that makes sense.
Let me continue. Batflix raised my subscription price again because they knew I would pay no matter what.
Well, that's the personalization. Batflix has no earthly clue who you are. They just raise their subscription prices anyway.
Just as your gang planned to isolate members from their former lives. Do you see the connection?
I guess so. I was just too stupid to see it at the time.
Calling yourself stupid is what distortion?
Yeah, it's labeling. But I should have known anyway. I knew that crew was bad news. I just thought I was bad news too.
You should have known. That's another distortion of reality, Samuel.
Alright, fine. Should statement, whatever. So what the hell am I supposed to do, Andy? Say nothing's ever my fault and I don't gotta know nothing? I was responsible for getting that beautiful horse killed. She trusted me, and if I'd been someone else, she wouldn't have had to die in that awful way.
I am not asking you to lie to yourself. Far from it. And I am not suggesting that you absolve yourself of all responsibility. But what would you say if a friend came to you with the same story? Would you tell them what they should have done? Would you call them stupid? You said yourself that you joined your gang because they were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose. I do not think this is a circumstance most people choose.
Yeah, I suppose.
Remember, Samuel, we are trying to reframe our thinking by clarifying these distortions. I know it may feel as though I am picking on you, but I am not. Let us forget what you should have done to make room for a different distortion. You are drawing a direct link from your emotion to the death of your horse. This is a distortion called emotional reasoning. I understand the guilt you feel, Samuel, but your guilt does not act on its own. This terrible thing, it did happen, and some choices you made undoubtedly created the circumstances for it to occur. You are not blameless, but let us restrict your blame to what you have actually done.
I'm sorry. I get awful worked up when talking about my princess. You should have seen her, Andy. She had these eyes. She looked right into my tainted soul and still loved me.
I understand, Samuel. We feel tremendous guilt when we fail an animal. When we look at reality, it is not to dismiss our burdens, but to process them fairly. I would like you to understand emotional reasoning so you can see how emotions color our thoughts. Please listen, and call me out when I am using emotional reasoning. I feel anxious. Perhaps it is the garlic naan I smell from the Indian restaurant next door.
Well, that's some emotional reasoning, right? You're connecting your anxiety to the garlic next door.
But this is not emotional reasoning. I do not suggest my anxiety is the cause of the garlic, but rather the garlic is the potential cause of my anxiety.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, I think. Why do we have a problem with garlic anyway?
I have no clue. But there is a lot about being undead that doesn't make a lot of sense, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I guess I try not to question the weirder stuff.
The mood in my club is somber tonight. I am sure it is a reflection of my own dark mood.
That's the emotional reasoning right there. I don't think them folk in the club know too much about how you're feeling.
Exactly. Our emotions can feel all-encompassing, and that is purely biological. We are animals, Samuel. There is a small cluster of brain tissue at the base of the cranium that tells us we are safe or that we are about to die. The complexity of our existence is at odds with our biology, but we have the logic to recognize it.
Well, if reincarnation's a thing, I think I'd rather come back as a horse.
It is indeed a boon and a curse to have human complexity of thought.
No kidding. If I were a horse, I'd know better than to join any cowboy gang, let alone the Mystic Bastards. I'd be happy with a bag of oats and a field to run around in.
How did you end up with the Mystic Bastards in the first place?
Well, like I said, I didn't have much choice. Nobody would have taken me in at that point, except a hangman, maybe. I wasn't a vampire yet, so hanging didn't sound too appealing. The last job I did got my brother killed, and after that, my wife left with my daughter and I never saw him again. Can't say I blame her. I didn't have nobody. Ain't no surprise that a vampire gang would be the only people to take me in.
Aha, so that is how you turned.
Yes, sir. It wasn't pleasant. Not the candlelight and writhing bodies sort of affair you see in mortal vampire stories.
That is terrible, Samuel. The turning is never easy. How did they find you?
That job that got my brother killed, we partnered up with one of them Mystic Bastards for it. He knew where to find me.
And he knew you were vulnerable and that you had no place to go.
I've thought about that. Were they setting me up all along? Maybe. But whether they were or not, I really didn't have any place to go. I know when them wanted dead or alive posters go up, folk find dead easier and more fun. People saw me as outlaw scum when I was a kid, and there was no way they were going to be kinder knowing I was in a gang.
You know this for a fact. You are certain that no one would have any pity on you at all, that your only recourse was to join your gang?
I guess I don't actually know that no one but the bastards would have taken me in. Sounds like a cognitive distortion, huh?
I think you see the patterns now. It may seem like pedantry, and perhaps it is, but pedantry is the search for ultimate truth.
Spoken like a true pedant.
It comes with being terrifyingly old. You discovered the cognitive distortion before I could point it out to you. It is a cognitive distortion similar to Nosferatu thinking. So let us put that particular distortion out of our minds for now. Yes, things were grim for you, but your experiences caused you to assume that there were none who would favor you with a kind eye. You were exhibiting the cognitive distortion of overgeneralization, the idea that no mortal could accept you. This clouded truth made you vulnerable to the Mystic Bastards' approach.
Damn. Maybe you ain't wrong, huh? I should have joined the Foreign Legion or something. Dang it, should statement.
Your mind is not a cognitive distortion shooting gallery, Samuel. Cut yourself some slack. All we seek is recognition of our distortions, not perfection and not punishment. Let us test your ability to recognize overgeneralization. Then I believe we will have covered enough for tonight. Allow me to begin. Elder vampires are insufferable. They all think they know everything.
Wait, ain't you an elder vampire? You don't seem like much of a know-it-all.
That's right, Samuel. Though in all honesty, I used to be quite insufferable myself. I aspire to be more patient these days. Let me continue. It seems to me that being a werewolf is pretty rough.
Well, that's kind of an overgeneralization, ain't it? You don't really know what being a werewolf is like.
I agree, but I only said that it seemed to me that being a werewolf was rough.
Oh, well, that dog joke has got to be a distortion of some kind.
No, it is just a bad joke. Vampires from Transylvania all have funny accents. I want to suck your blood. Who talks like this?
That seems like an overgeneralization, Andy. I ain't sure any of them ever sounded like that. Pretty sure they all sound American these days anyway from watching bat flicks all the time.
Correct, Samuel. I apologize for the offensive accent. It was employed only to prove a point. Well done, Samuel. Your ability to identify cognitive distortions continues to impress. But let us bring things back to you. I do not ask you to absolve yourself of the things you have done. You did not have the tools to be mindful of the thought patterns that made you vulnerable to the Mystic Bastards. I have seen mindfulness take root in you, though, Samuel. I hope this session has been helpful to you.
Yeah, I'm still sad. I'm still regretful about Princess. I think I'll always be. My not being mindful is what killed her. Every time I think about it, I just know I'm a terrible person who messes everything up. But I think the awareness helps.
It does. Then please tell me what cognitive distortion you just exemplified. Was it emotional reasoning, overgeneralization, or personalization?
It's personalization. Princess' death wasn't something I directly caused. It just feels that way.
Good, Samuel. But you will also find it is also emotional reasoning to link your pain to Princess's death, and an overgeneralization to say that you are a terrible person who messes everything up. Remember, cognitive distortions are not a cudgel to beat yourself with.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. If we're spouting cognitive distortions all the time, ain't my clients gonna be mad at my constantly interrupting them?
You continue to impress. Yes, we cannot bully our clients with distortions. Thus, I find it is best to clear our minds and focus on a few during each session. Keeping endless distortions in mind is not easy for a therapist either, after all. I think we have done excellent work tonight, and I'm certain you've built up a thirst. I know this evening was emotionally intense. Ask Crimson for some scotch.
Drinking booze ain't exactly compatible with our biology, Andy.
By scotch, I mean Scottish blood. It's iron-rich and quite delicious. I age it in whiskey barrels.
That sounds pretty nice. I might just do that and call it an early night.
As you wish, Samuel. Rest well, and do not lasso yourself so tightly, as you say. You are deserving of love, especially from yourself.
I'm just gonna leave before I get more embarrassed.
Very well, Samuel. Rest in peace, my friend. Samuel, greetings. You are seeing Dr. Drain again tonight, yes?